I was recently speaking with a family member of mine who happens to be a labor and delivery nurse, and she has been in mother and baby care for over 35 years. And something that she was telling me was people do not take into account how important family planning is. And she was just talking about she comes across so many different mothers from different demographics, nationalities, and everything like that. And that is something that she has noticed, that not everyone takes family planning seriously. And it goes far beyond making sure you have the clothes and the food and everything like that for your child to be able to take that baby home. But it's talking about planning for 1 year ahead, 5 years ahead, 10, 15, college, when they're an adult, all of those things. Not a lot of people think about that. They literally are just out here having babies and just like, okay, we'll just figure it out as it goes. And it oftentimes makes me think about how I personally waited until I was married, stable, home, all of that before I had kids. And I remember growing up around family, friends, and things like that where it might have not been the norm for them to go the route that I was taking, because it was almost indoctrinated that, hey, you're never really ready to have a baby. So just why don't you just go ahead and do it? Like, God's going to provide. He's going to give you all the things that you need. But at the same time, from the outside looking in, I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it that way, because, and it's not to say all, but it's like from what I see, y'all struggling. And I was like, there's just no way that I, of my right mind, could bring a baby into a situation where I'm not 100% whole and I'm not financially stable and I have the mental capacity to be able to raise a human. And that was part of the big reason why I never had kids super young and rushed to have kids. I mean, teen pregnancy was very big growing up, in early 20s, like late teen years, college years. It was very, very common to have a baby, but I was just like, I could barely take care of myself and I'm trying to figure this thing out. And I knew that I wanted to have a partner that would show up and have the same morals and values. So I was like, I'm going to wait. And that's exactly what I did. And when I look back, I'm so glad that I did, because who knew what life would have been like if I would have had a child young and I have not waited to be married and to be stable with someone who was also 100% whole as a person, that had the same mindset, that wanted to raise the family in the same way that I did too. And I always talk to my husband about how I feel like parenting for us has been such a breeze because we have properly planned for it. We sat down and we were like, okay, we want to have a baby at this age. Let's make sure we have this in order. We have this money set aside. Of course, God has the final say so, but it was like we both came in agreement, took it to God and was like, okay, this is what we want to do, and this is how we want it to go. Like, if it is in your will, please let it be done. And it was done. And there's just no other way that I have could have prepared myself than the way that we did, now that we're parents. And now we're in our early 30s, and my child has a life that I could only dream of. And I know it is because of the grace of God, but the simple fact that we planned this thing out. We planned it. I and I'm just saying all this to say, having babies isn't just some fly by the night type thing, like, oh, we just gonna wake up and have kids and do that. You can. But when it comes to the livelihood of you raising these tiny humans so that they can be beautiful, productive people in this society, you have to take it into account and plan that out properly. Like, you just have to plan it out. And I want so many people who don't have kids to just really think about family planning. Whether you are engaged, married, dating, whatever, think about how you want to raise your children. Think about the type of parent that you want to be. What does that life look like to you? You need to tackle family You need to tackle genetics, get genetic testing done. You need to go over financial planning. There's so many different elements to family planning other than just making sure you got enough diapers and onesies to be able to clothe that child. Like, it's so much deeper than that. And I just wish more people would actually take the time and actually plan out what they want their family dynamic to look like so that we can raise a different group of people in this world. Like, I just feel like if people thought about it and was more serious, half of the issues in the world wouldn't be going on like it is. Granted, there's other elements that add to the madness, but family planning is one of those things. And I see it so strongly, especially in the Black community. Like, we need to start planning these families and doing it wisely.